He witnessed his own birth in reverse, plunging back into his mother's womb from a diving board.
No. Wait, isn't this just Fantasia? The Disney Fantasia?
Yeah, right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Tether Radio Podcast, the only podcast keeping you from spiraling out into the infinite abyss. I'm your host, Daniel, and I'm joined by another girl, the same girl. Allie Valentine is back on the show, covering for Joseph, and I believe Allie is going to be joining us for the foreseeable future. So. Woo woo. Woo woo is right. That always makes me think of oh my god, what is that show with the Woo Girls or whatever?
Oh.
How I Met Your Mother.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, the Woo Girls.
Always because I'm like woo woo. And they're like, dude, are you a woot girl?
Oh god, I'm so not a woo girl, but but I do like to woo, but otherwise, personality wise, I'm not a woo girl.
Exactly. But well, how was your week?
Man, it was good. It was weird. I listened to a bunch of audiobooks this week, and then I was like, okay, I've audiobooked myself out. Let's dive into some podcasts. Yeah. And I started in on a weird one about Epstein, and then I went down some rabbit holes, and I feel like I'm in a 400 level research class in undergrad again or something.
Dude.
There's so much. And have you ever heard of Marc Dutroux out of Belgium?
I don't think so.
Well, there's you a rabbit hole.
Really?
He's one of those when his Wikipedia page loads, you're like, oh god, look how long this page is.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, it's nuts.
So what's, can you give us a quick and dirty?
I think it really ultimately ties into the whole Epstein, rich people trafficking children, and it's awful. Yeah. And I think I really haven't done a deep dive into him yet, but man, there's a lot. I think he murdered a few people and he went to jail for it, but
dude, the rabbit hole is very deep with the fucking Epstein shit, so
I am wearing my tinfoil hat reading about it, and I'm I'm already in too deep. I can't wait.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
What about you? How's your week?
It was good. I was trying to think of what I really did this week. Megan is dealing with fiscal year end at work, so she's having to pull a little bit longer days, which is, obviously it's fine, whatever. She's got to do what she's got to do. Yeah. But it's definitely a little bit more difficult with the kid. Yeah. When your day gets extended by 2-3 hours. It feels like it's extended by 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But pretty good week, and I was trying to think of what I think we watched Spider-Man Far From Home this week. Oh yeah. And it was actually pretty good. If you're into the Spider-Man franchise, which I am all in on Tom Holland, man. Yeah. I actually think that they cast him really well. Just for my idea of what Spider-Man would actually be like, because he's supposed to be a kid. Yeah. So
man, I could take it or leave it about superhero stuff at all, but I was into Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man 3 the musical came out, and I was just like, what the hell is this?
Spider-Man 3 the musical.
Dude, did you see it? It was a musical.
Oh my god, did you actually watch it?
Yeah, you remember it?
I don't know.
No, it wasn't actually called the musical, but it was a musical. The one with Tobey Maguire still in it.
Is that when he went emo?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And I was just like, I'm done with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Although when Deadpool came out, I kept referring to him as Evil Spider-Man. Everybody was like, that's not. And I'm like, I know it's not, but it pisses you off, and I'm going to keep saying it.
Yeah. God, Deadpool. I could watch Deadpool
No, Deadpool's great. Yeah.
It's so good. And what's his name? What's the guy's name?
Ryan Reynolds.
Dude,
if he ran for an office, I'd vote for him.
He kills it. And him, honestly, even though Allie and I were talking about it a little bit before the show, we don't really give a shit about celebrities and stuff and their life happenings, but
you know why? It's because the celebrities we do care about don't get into shit, so we don't hear about them.
Yeah. No, because it's just like, dude, like Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds they're married, right?
Yeah. I think.
I mean, they seem like a fun couple. Yeah. Like a fun,
but they're not out there
couple.
like doing crazy shit, so we don't hear news about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like the whatever the latest happenings of Brad Pitt or something.
Yeah, I totally forgot about Freddie Prinze Jr. even existing. Do you know he's still married to Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, they've been married for, like, I don't even know, a long time.
No, he was in, what, She's All That?
He was in, like all those, like, the girly 90s. Teen movies. Yeah. But, man, he's aged pretty well. Really? He's gone, like, what's it called? Salt and pepper in his hair and stuff. Okay. But, like, he still kind of looks the same, but, like, yeah, he's just
embracing the aging
stuff.
He
looks good, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, rock and roll. I guess without further ado, we'll go ahead and hop into this latest episode of the Tether Radio podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start off with we're kind of messing around a little bit with how we're with the flow of the show, I guess. Man, what a good term. Ooh. Flow of the show. So bear with us. We're kind of trying to make this a little bit more open conversation, free flowing kind of thing, as opposed to kind of rigid structure for how the content of the episode. So let us know what you think. If you like it, if you don't like it, whatever. We'd totally love to hear from any of the listeners. tetherradio@gmail.com. But so this first article though that I pulled was man accused of using drone to airdrop explosives onto ex-girlfriend's property. So it's not. I read the title of the article and I was like, dude, this is gonna be some juicy shit.
Yeah.
It's not as juicy as I was hoping for, but that doesn't mean that there isn't something here. So basically, this guy was accused of literally using a DJI drone to drop bombs on his ex-girlfriend's home in Washington Township, Pennsylvania. So the dude was arrested, and apparently he also has a domestic violence protective order filed against him, so he's not supposed to have any like firearms and stuff.
Oh,
in addition to the fact that you're not supposed to be using fucking drones to drop bombs anyway.
Does it say how old this guy is? I don't think it does.
So no, I wanted to say. I thought it did say something. I want to say he was in his 30s, like maybe late 30s. I was going to say,
this guy has played too much Call of Duty.
Yeah, right? You know? No shit, dude. No, I think I'm looking at, or I'm remembering that if he actually is convicted on all these counts of, well, actually, I don't even know what they're charging him with. But basically he could face up to 33 years in prison and a $760,000 fine.
That's a really absurd number.
Which I mean, like it's a pretty big fucking deal that you're dropping bombs using a drone.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, that seems pretty steep.
Yeah, like
honestly,
what's the?
Because I guess
they're factoring in like emotional distress or something into that.
And maybe so.
I don't know.
Maybe so, but they did say one of his neighbors in his neighborhood was talking about how he had heard some of the explosives being detonated, but that was something that they actually, since they don't have proof that he was detonating explosives. I know, right? If you couldn't hear it, Allie just gave the biggest eye roll ever. So it might have been audible. But yeah, since they can't prove that he was actually, detonating the explosives, they basically can't charge him with the full extent kind of thing. So,
man, I don't know. That's got to be just good luck on that guy's
yeah.
account. Because no way is he like, they're not going to know it's me. Like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, who else is fucking blowing up shit?
He doesn't sound like a smart man.
No, by any stretch. But one of his neighbors was actually quoted. He said, "One day I was in the driveway doing something. All of a sudden I heard them. It rained nails. They came out of the sky. They dropped down from the sky."
Oh, that's not good.
So this dude was making, he was making like straight up like pipe bombs and shit, and you know, planning on, I guess, or not planning, dropping them on the property. But they, like I said, you know, they don't have any proof that he was like detonating them, I guess. So maybe it was just like a threat more than anything. Yeah. But I don't know. So,
it's not good.
No, it is not good. And if you have a drone out there, the other thing that was, kind of not interesting, but, just a side note, he was using a drone. I think this is, one of the bigger whatever problems with what he was doing. He was actually using an unregistered drone. So,
and he has an arsenal of weapons he's not allowed to have.
Oh yeah, that. But yeah, I think that believe it or not, I really do think probably violating the
protective order,
and the unregistered drone thing. I mean, that's actually a pretty big fucking deal.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's probably where the fine came from, is all those different things put together.
Yeah, for sure.
Jeez.
But anyway, we'll go ahead and cruise on from this one. Allie pulled a really solid one.
So on a completely different, unrelated note to nails raining from the sky, the world's oldest parents are in intensive care just a week after the new mother gave birth to twin girls after 57 years in a childless marriage. So this couple is in India, and they are 74 and 78 years old, and they had twin girls. Well, obviously, the woman did. Yeah. I'm gonna try to say these names. Aramati Mangayama and her husband Raha Rao. They used in vitro, and she carried them and gave birth to them. And the day after that, her husband had a heart attack and he got put in intensive care. And the mother stayed in intensive care because of the trauma from giving birth at the age of 74.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So there's a little update saying that they're both out of intensive care now, but like, what are you doing? Like, who? Dude, I am 34 and I am already like, if I wanted a kid, I think I've missed the boat. Like, I already feel like I'm too old to have a kid. And you're 74. I can't even. Yeah.
I mean, like, which I do have to say, it's really awesome that somebody that wants a kid, the medical technology has progressed to the point to where we can help them have a kid.
Yeah.
But it also kind of begs the question of, should we do this kind of thing?
Because, like, how old are you going to live to? You're 74 and 78, and, like, I don't know, like, what if you both only live to 80?
Well, and that was something that I was, that I kind of jotted down to talk to you about, because it's like, okay, so you've gone through kind of the hard part in regards to having a child.
Sure.
But now you have to raise a child.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, hell, Megan and I, both of us are 33. Yeah. And dude, we're fucking exhausted at the end of the day.
Right?
Like, having a small child.
I always thought people were crazy that had kids in, like, their early 20s, and now I'm like, no, that was actually pretty smart.
Sense. Yeah, it makes sense, because I definitely had a lot more energy back then than I do these days. But, like, yeah, it's just one of those things that, you know, like you said, I mean, hell, the average life expectancy for the U.S., I believe, is around 77.
I think so. And India, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it's probably sooner. Like, it's probably younger.
That's what I would think. But yeah, so it's one of those things that, like, okay, cool, I'm happy for you, but, like, now your child, it could potentially, you know, have to be raised by a relative, because you might not make it.
Yeah.
Like,
okay,
you know.
So since we have the whole internet right here, life expectancy in India, 68.5 years.
So, I mean, these people are already pushing the fucking limits.
You're already pushing your luck.
Yeah. Oh my God. But like I said, that is pretty cool that, and so you were saying that they didn't use her actual eggs, right?
Yeah, I think they used an egg donor, but they used his sperm, and they inserted it into her once it was fertilized, and then she carried it to term.
Gotcha.
And, yeah.
I mean, that's, you know what?
Oh, that's
my hat goes off to her, the fact that she could even have, make it through gestation and birth. So,
yeah,
but,
and, there wasn't anything saying, like, if they had a lot of, like, fails before or anything. I don't know if they just got lucky and it took with the first try, but, whew.
Yeah, no, that's just, it's a lot. It's a lot to digest right there. But, so, okay, so where do we want to head from here? What are you feeling?
I don't know, we got so much.
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about.
Let's get into all this medical stuff since we're a little medical here.
Yeah, let's do, let's start off with the Purdue stuff, and then we can talk about how you can kick your, oxy habit.
Oh, Jesus.
Or a potential way to kick your oxy habit. So, we've kind of covered some stuff previously on, and it's been all over the news, Purdue Pharma, and the Sackler family, basically being wholeheartedly responsible, or at least the vast majority of responsibilities was placed on them. And them bringing to market, oxycodone and specifically extended release oxycodone, also known as OxyContin.
Yep.
And literally everybody that has written or researched, or maybe not everybody, the vast majority of people who have written and researched the opioid crisis, all fingers point to the fucking Sacklers and Purdue Pharma.
They knew what they were doing from the start, and everybody told them, and they just kept flipping everybody off and making that money.
Yeah, seriously. And so we pulled a couple of articles, just because there's now some supremely shady shit going on in regards to how they're being dealt with now that they've created the opioid crisis.
Yep.
Excuse me. So, Ali pulled one from, Bloomberg. OxyContin maker Purdue Pharma files for bankruptcy to wipe out, 2,000 lawsuits. And as soon as I saw that she had pulled this one, I had remembered seeing one on Reddit that I was like, holy shit.
Yep.
These go hand in hand, 100%. So, basically what the Sacklers, have done is they started taking, money from Purdue Pharma and, transferring it to like shell companies and, basically offshore accounts kind of thing, for specific members of the Sackler family. And now what's happened, is all of these different states have started trying to pursue, damages basically from the company. And so that's where the whole 2,000 lawsuits thing comes in.
Yeah. But
I mean, we're talking about at this point, I think that they were shooting for, let's see. They originally wanted to shoot for about $12 billion to be paid out in damages, but somehow it got back down to, I believe, around 4 or 3. I'm sorry. The Sacklers guaranteed they'll pay a minimum of $3 billion toward the settlement. This company and the Sacklers has made so much money that like $3 billion, I don't know if it would necessarily be referred to as a drop in the bucket, but it ain't a whole lot to these fools.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the money generated by the opioid crisis for basically big pharma in general, because I mean, hell, you've got all these generic companies that are putting out whatever immediate release oxycodone forms, and it's basically what seems to have happened is the Sacklers were able to transfer, and I believe the other article said at the point when the article was being written, they could account for a little over $1 billion in money transfers to like these offshore accounts and like personal accounts of different members of the Sackler family kind of thing. And so now what they're doing is they're like, oh, well, this is going to completely destroy this company. Let's just file for bankruptcy so that we don't have to fucking front the money kind of thing.
Yep.
And it's just like, just when you thought these pieces of shit couldn't be bigger pieces of shit, they somehow just like lowered the bar a little bit more.
Man, I've just gotta say, like, every time I hear the name Sackler, in my head I have this little like butthead laugh because they are such sacks of shit that I'm like, Sackler, because the name totally fits them.
Oh, totally. And it's just, it's going to be interesting to see how this actually gets dealt with. And, cause I was trying to remember, even though they have all this, let's see, New York says it's documented $1 billion, in transfers, including millions from a Purdue parent company to Mortimer D.A. Sackler.
Mortimer. That's like only a loaded asshole name.
Right? It really is.
Like, there is no one in the world named Mortimer, like, flipping burgers at McDonald's.
No. And honestly, you know who it makes me think of immediately? Trading Places. Because I'm pretty sure one of the older dudes that are doing the bet or whatever, pretty sure one of their fucking names is Mortimer.
Mortimer's like a weird name you give to a cat. I don't know.
No, I agree, man. But it's going to be really interesting to see how this kind of shakes out and everything. They also said in this article from The Guardian, New York, Massachusetts, and others contend that the Sacklers drained more than $4 billion from Purdue since 2007, moving much of it offshore to avoid future claims. So I mean,
so dirty. Like, they know they're being awful. They know they are.
That was something that was actually brought up in the former article from Bloomberg, and I was trying to find exactly because I wanted to. Let's see.
I did see somewhere in there that there are 48 states suing Purdue.
Yeah.
40. Everybody.
Yeah, I know. Who's fucking holding out?
I know.
Go ahead
I want to see who it's not, because I know Alaska, I'm pretty sure, has a problem with it, because there's like it's more in the like rural areas, and Alaska sure is rural.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, so basically what was said, and I can't find the quote offhand right now, but basically this they had interviewed one of the prosecutors, and the person was just like, dude, if this doesn't scream like completely and utterly being liable for all of this stuff, because them transferring this money shows that they knew that the fucking honeypot was like, you know, gonna get overturned kind of thing. So it's like, all right, well, here's our fucking backup plan kind of thing. It's just so fucking despicable. It really is. And I mean, it's just, there's some really, really phenomenal books out there. Allie and I were talking about it a little bit. There's a book, and I'll look it up in 1 second, but it's called Dreamland, and it's about the opioid epidemic. And it's absolutely insane how it basically began and all of this, and just how many lives have been affected. And so, some of these people, it's not like, you know, it's not like people that were like drug seekers in the first place.
No, it's people that had like, they pulled their back at their job running a forklift or something. Like it's normal people.
Yeah. And then we turn, well, the Sacklers, Purdue Pharma, and Big Pharma helped turn them into fucking drug addicts.
Yeah. And even when it was all getting started, so many people were like, this is bad. Don't put this drug out. Take this drug off the market. This is so bad. And Purdue's like, nah.
Yeah. No, we're good. We're good.
When you were reading Dreamland, I was reading a book that I happened across called Dope Sick. And it was so interesting. And it was really detailed about the opioid crisis. And it was super, super researched. Like, I read it on my Kindle, and when I was done with the book, there was still 30% of the book left, because that was how much, like, citations she had at the end. Like, she was so researched. But it had a lot of personal stories, and it was really, like, compelling to read, but just awful.
Well, no, and that was because they kind of outlined some personal experiences and stuff in the in Dreamland also. And it's just crazy. These people, these,
it just ruins
middle
people's
class
lives.
families that just, like you said, somebody got an injury, and hell, one of my buddies was prescribed like the immediate release oxycodone for like a broken collarbone or something like that. That it's like, I'm sorry, but like, no, no. Like, what in the fuck?
My dad, he passed away in 2011, and I was talking to Mom a couple months ago about the whole opioid thing, and she was saying it's just like, it's so easy to get, and there's so much of it that, like, towards the end they were prescribing Dad different opioids. I mean, like, every week, and they'd be like, here's a prescription, it's 30 days worth, and then in like 6 days they'd be like, we've changed your dose, here is a prescription, it's 30 days worth. And Mom's like, do you want the others back?
Well, no, and that's
so,
the
like,
thing.
Mom was like really worried about having so many like painkillers and stuff in the house, because like, if people know and they like figure that out, like, they're gonna break in your house and steal that. And like,
100%.
She like looked up like how to get rid of them, like, once Dad had passed, because she just had so many like powerful drugs in the house.
No, and that's the thing is, you, like you said, pharmacy has gotten very dangerous these days, because you've got people holding up stores to just get fucking pills, man. I mean, hell, I actually got jokingly accused every time that I would like not work on the weekend. Like, no shit. Well, not every time, but like, I went out of town for something when I was working at CVS as a tech, and our store got held up. And then like 2 or 3 months later, maybe not 2 or 3 months, probably closer to like 6 months a year. I go on another trip, our store gets held up.
It's a bad look.
And and so one of the pharmacists was like, it's kind of convenient that you're like always out of town. And I was like, I swear to God, I'm not in on this shit. Like,
dude, I didn't even like, innocent little nerd that I was, when I was like 16, a sort of friend of mine in high school called me one day. He was like, hey man, do your parents have any painkillers? I was like, what? No, shut the fuck up. No, what? Like, what are you even on about? And now I look back and I'm like, God, he probably had some troubles.
Oh my God, dude. Well, and it's just like, people, even kids rating like their fucking parents like medicine drawer or something, because like, whatever, Dad got some oxy because blah blah blah. That's just crazy. And the concept that people go to these drugs and thinking that, oh, well, it's a prescription. So it's safe. And it's like, when taken correctly. And don't drink on it. Don't fucking mix it with Xanax. Don't like, it's like, oh my God. I was talking to, my dad, yesterday about, there was a guy in undergrad that would occasionally end up at parties that we were having. Like, I say parties, little get-togethers kind of thing, just among friends. But this dude was more of an acquaintance, and he would just kind of whatever. He'd find his way there occasionally, and so but he was one of these motherfuckers that would show up and like take like 2 oxys and then fucking slam like whatever for 6 beers. And then sit down on the couch and just fucking
basically die.
I mean, like, literally just like, this 1,000-mile stare kind of thing, and just like almost like drooling kind of shit. And I'm like, I don't want to be here when this motherfucker's breathing stops. No. So I'm going to go ahead and dip. But it was just, God, man, it was rampant. Man. I don't know if did you see much of that when you were in school?
No, I didn't go to like a lot of big parties, and I went, my piece of shit roommates in freshman year in the dorm convinced me to go to a frat party like our first like month, and I'm like, okay. So I go, and I'm like so young and so naive and such a dork. and there's so many people, and it's just so much, and the cops get called, and I'm like, I'm the only person here that's not drinking, and that was, I think I maybe ever went to one more frat party, and I still didn't drink at it because no. But yeah, like I didn't do a lot of big parties, and like I didn't associate with people that like really did. I mean, everybody did weed, but like nothing serious.
Yeah.
But like, I even had friends that just, when you get weird on stuff, I don't want to be around you. Like I had a friend that he wasn't an alcoholic, but like his whole personality changed when he drank, and he wanted to fight. So we would go to like, there was like a small venue in town that would have like musicians come, and they were good. And we'd go, and he'd just like, you know, he'd have like 6-7 beers and just start trying to like fight other people. It's like a place where you're like sitting at tables, like watching like a local performer. I'm like, dude, this isn't
chill. What are you doing, man?
Like we quit hanging out with him because I don't want to be around. I don't want to be around people that are out of control. That's what it comes down to. Like it's, you know, and that's a different kind of out of control for sure. But it's still like you're not in your head.
But and it's so weird how people can totally change, fucking drinking or whatever, doing whatever. But yeah, this shit is just it's gonna be interesting to see how it pans out in regards to. I want to see some of these motherfuckers like go to like ass pounding prison kind of thing. That's what I want.
Yeah, but you know they're gonna get some Epstein deals where they're barely in prison and they can still leave for work and whatever. But
I thought you were gonna say like suicide.
Well, there's that. But yeah, like I don't know. It's just such a mess, and I really wish that they would not only have to compensate stuff, but like have to really set up some good rehab stuff out there for people, because this is, I mean, it's awful, and it's so hard for these people to get over it and to kick these terrible addictions to opioids that they've got.
And I mean, like, and that's the other thing that's kind of interesting. We'll move on after this, or we won't belabor the point.
Sure.
But it's really going to pharmacy school. I actually took this course called Drugs of Abuse.
Yeah,
and it literally. Your brain gets rewired.
Yeah.
When you become addicted to shit.
Sure.
Now there's a physical dependence versus a
like mental.
Yeah, exactly, psychological dependence kind of thing. But it literally, if you keep, basically it starts with the psychological dependence, and then you rework your body basically, and your body's like, oh well. Instead of food, I'd rather have Oxy.
Sure.
Kind of thing.
Sure.
But it literally changes your body. Yeah. And it's just, it's really fascinating to me, but it's so sad at the same time.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so we'll cruise into this other one that I pulled from Wired. This was really interesting to me. So obviously we've been talking about, opioid addiction and all that stuff. And opioid addiction and heroin addiction kind of go hand in hand, because basically what ended up happening is people started cracking down on getting opioids, sent the price up because less on the market kind of thing, and people started turning to heroin.
Yep.
So I pulled this one because it was absolutely fascinating, because there is a drug that is being at least looked at in Mexico.
Well.
Yeah, I know, right? So take this with a grain of salt.
That was exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, but it sounds potentially promising for at least a small group of healthy individuals. Because the main problem with this, the drug is called Ibogaine. And it is, I was trying to find where did they get it from, because it was like this bush, let's see, oh, here we go, Tabernath iboga, and it's it's a perennial shrub that is found in western equatorial Africa, from Cameroon to Angola, I guess, sorry. Anyway, so this, I believe that they harvest it from the roots, and it's an hallucinogenic drug. And it started being looked at in like the early 60s. And it's the absolute most bizarre thing ever, because these people were taking this drug, Ibogaine, and having like these, multi-hour trips. And then they and sorry, forgot to mention, these are people that were addicted to heroin.
Right.
And so they would come out of this trip and they would basically not have a desire for heroin for like 3 or 4 months.
That's wild.
It's absolutely some of the craziest shit ever. Now, obviously there's a risk reward balance, from pounding this stuff. And
wait, did they originally like know that this made you hallucinate and people were just doing it for fun, and then they decided to try it as a fix?
I would say that's probably more along the lines.
Like they heard about it and they went with it.
Yeah, because I mean, whatever, 60s, everybody was looking for something to fucking trip.
Out here licking toads.
Yeah, exactly. But this shit, higher doses of Ibogaine can produce a trip lasting up to 36 hours.
Oh, no thank you.
Oh my God. Like, so I've taken acid before, and it romps you for about 10 to 12 hours.
I did not know that. I totally thought acid. I don't know stuff about drugs.
Oh, dude, no, it was
acid
actually
would
really
maybe
fun,
fuck you up for like 2 or 3 hours. I had no idea. Whew.
So mushrooms, which I have not done.
Yeah.
Basically, I think that's more like toward the 4 to 6 hours.
Okay.
But dude, acid was actually really fun. Now granted, this was back, it's probably been 12 years, or more.
Sure.
But anyway, so, but it was crazy. And I know that once it got to be around like the 8 to 10 hour mark, you're like, can this fucking be over?
I bet.
Like,
yeah.
I'm ready to go to bed,
That's like when you drink a whole lot and you go to bed and you like, the room's spinning, you're like, oh, I hate everything.
Yeah.
And then you like wake up like 4 hours later to pee and you're like, I'm still so drunk. Why?
Yeah. Oh my God. But so I wanted to read this guy's description, and I was trying to remember what let's see, Lotsoff, what his first name is. I can't find it real quick, and that doesn't make for good radio. So, this guy's last name was Lotsoff, and he was basically studying this Ibogaine to see if it could help with drug addiction.
Yeah,
because he ended up giving it to a buddy to test out. And then his buddy was like, dude, it's like fucking crazy, and it was effective.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, this guy described his trip as
Howard Lotsoff.
Howard Lotsoff.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yep.
He said there were endless hours of weird visions, a pulsating yellow screwdriver, dancing Neanderthals rolling a giant stone heart. He witnessed his own birth in reverse, plunging back into his mother's womb from a diving board.
No. Wait, isn't this just Fantasia? The Disney Fantasia?
Yeah, right. Oh my God. But so then it goes on. When it was over, he stepped out into the sunlight and noticed something odd. Lotsoff was addicted to heroin, but after tripping on Ibogaine, he felt no withdrawal and no craving. And they said, let's see. Yeah, like it lasted, let's see, he distributed the drugs to 19 friends, 7 of whom were also addicted to heroin. 5 of the 7 reported that their symptoms of dependence evaporated for up to 6 months after one single dose. So, it sounds like, sorry, real quick, this was actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
So Lotsoff went on, kept kind of experimenting with this Ibogaine. It was scheduled as a class 1 scheduled medication, narcotic, up there with like heroin and LSD in 1970. But he couldn't forget the words a booming voice had spoken to him in a dark room during the first trip. You will bring Ibogaine to the world and set it free.
I am your god now.
I know. Or in the words of Rick and Morty, show me what you got. But holy shit, man. Super, super fucking crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Now, obviously...
It doesn't sound like they have any, like, withdrawal symptoms or any just...
It's just...
You're fixed for a little while.
Yeah.
Or a while.
Really. Yeah. I mean, it's super cool. Yeah. Now, obviously, all of this, all news is not good news in regards to this stuff. Basically, what they've found out is that it is a decently cardiotoxic drug.
Great.
Yeah, exactly. So in order to take it, they normally recommend, I say these people that are actually run clinics down in Mexico.
Okay.
They basically will hook you up to like IV fluids for like hydration, and then they'll hook you up to an EKG. Excuse me, so that they can monitor your heart. Right. And basically, because it's been known to throw people into arrhythmias or like ventricle fibrillation, and which are very, very, like VFib is fucking, you don't want to be in fucking VFib. So yeah, it is definitely being looked into, at least internationally. And man, I don't know. It would be really cool, even if you didn't use Ibogaine. It would be super cool if they were able to, they being pharmaceutical companies, were able to take that molecular structure of Ibogaine and tweak it to maybe make it a little bit less cardiotoxic,
right? And
maybe not last for fucking a day and a half. But the other cool thing which obviously, coming from a medical, background, all the medicine stuff and like how they do the monitoring and all that stuff's kind of fascinating to me. Yeah. Because, what they would do is they would take, I think it was like a 2.5 milligram per, kilogram of whatever the, patient's weight was. Okay. And they would do a test dose so that they could kind of see, okay, well, if it starts affecting your heart and stuff, we're not going to give you the full fucking
right.
You know? So that was kind of neat that they've actually developed some kind of a protocol in regards to actually administration of this stuff. Yeah. But it sounds like, it could potentially be something, that we could look at in the future. So kind of moving on from its effectiveness and stuff, and talking a little bit more about its safety. They interviewed this guy, a psychiatrist in New York by the name of Kenneth Alper, and he published analysis of known deaths associated to Ibogaine use outside of West Africa. And he found that a total of 19 cases, first of all, and the causes of death varied widely, including pulmonary embolism, arrhythmia, heart attack, heart failure, and suspected drug overdose. So obviously this shit is not benign, but you kind of, in my opinion, you kind of would be weighing out, okay, this person's addicted to heroin. What kind of burden are they going to be, not only on themselves, but the taxpayers and stuff? Because if, everybody knows that normally heroin users are not upstanding citizens that are providing very well for themselves.
Yeah, they usually can't be once they're really addicted.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's kind of one of these things that, if somebody... well, it's just literally weighing the risk versus rewards kind of thing. And, if you did fall into that category of whatever, not having any, predisposition for, heart issues, and, you know, you were healthy enough and whatever, I say fucking maybe, man, you know?
Yeah,
it's
I mean, if I was all out addicted to heroin, like, first off, like, you're super, like, at risk to overdose. Yeah. Like, with all the fentanyl that's out there and stuff. And just not knowing, like, how pure stuff is. Yeah. I mean, if you're really already in a life or death situation, why not try this stuff, you know?
Yeah. No, you're exactly right.
Yeah, hopefully they can, you know, get some more research and, like, really, you know, I guess purify might be, you know, make it more stable.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean that literally. This is how drugs get discovered. I mean, like, for instance, there's a drug that's used known as heparin as an anticoagulant in a hospital use kind of thing for infusions. And I believe, I don't want to be speaking out of line here, but I believe that it was actually discovered from the Gila monster saliva.
Really?
Because when they would bite, I'm pretty sure it was heparin. But anyway, when Gila monster would bite its prey, its saliva would keep the blood from coagulating.
So they bleed out.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's kind of cool, to be honest.
Yeah.
And so we, you know, scientists or biologists took that, studied the saliva. We were able to figure out, you know, heparin would be super useful. And now it's used all the fucking time in hospitals.
That's crazy.
So, but yeah, so just it'll be interesting to see if this gains, you know, any traction or even has the potential to be looked at as, you know, some kind of not deterrent, but just, you know, some kind of fix for, you know, opioid or opiate addiction.
Hey, so, you know who could fund all this? The Sacklers.
Yeah, I know, right? My God, I'm just gonna shoot this email over to old Mortimer.
Hey, Mortimer. Hey, old pal.
Yeah, but yeah, that would be all. Honestly, I would completely be happy with an outcome like that. Send all those fuckers to jail and take their money and fund fucking research to help fight the fucking opioid.
Research and rehab and just fixing their mess.
Which that's the kind of fucked thing is I'm almost positive that these either Purdue Pharma or the Sacklers specifically have donated a lot of money to opioid research in regards to, like, fighting the epidemic and then basically selling fucking shit out the back door kind of thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's just fucking ugh.
Yeah.
They're just pieces of shit. So.
That was something that broke my heart in that Dope Sick book that I read was, you know, these doctors who were seeing, like, these Purdue Pharma reps were just pushing this drug so much. And they were like, prescribe this and get this out and get more people. And they're like, you can't get addicted to it. Yeah. And the doctors are like, please stop. You can totally get addicted to this. Please stop telling people this.
It's just, well, and the thing that kind of blows my mind about this is, I mean, we already had hydrocodone, which literally is just a, I don't know if it's, it's a less potent opioid. Okay. And I mean, people were already abusing that. Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of one of those things that you're like, okay, if you make something stronger, why would it not have a higher potential to be abused?
Yeah. I forget what their reasoning was. Like, they had some reasoning about how it wouldn't be addictive. And, like, they found out really quick that they were completely wrong.
Yeah, and I would say at least some of their argument was, oh, with this continued release capsule, you're not going to get the peaks and troughs that you would with, like, an immediate release.
Like, no one's out here chewing it.
Yeah, right. But yeah, dude, it's just fucking, these people are just POSs that I hope they get their well-deserved comeuppance.
But we've still got people out here in jail for 20 years about dealing weed.
Yeah, but exactly. Okay. Yeah, exactly. It's just fucking ridiculous. Yeah. But priorities, America, fucking get them. Or at least get them in order. Yeah. All right. So let's see.
I think we've talked medical and opioid stuff. I think we've talked that to death today.
let's go a little bit.
I love it. I could have a whole podcast about opioid stuff. Like, I'm just so fascinated by it, and
dude,
mad about it, but fascinated.
Yeah. No, I agree. Let's see. Where do we want to head from here? What are you feeling?
How about this this AI Facebook Big Brother bullshit?
Let's do it. I like it.
Yeah.
Joseph and I have ribbed in the past on Facebook to the nth fucking degree, and I'm sure that Allie's probably on board with what's been said, but
I mean, I think it's just understood everybody hates Facebook.
Yeah, okay.
You have to.
So you're on board.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I pulled this one from Engadget. Facebook will train its content removal AI with police camera footage. Now, you might be asking yourself, how would they gain access to this police camera footage? Well, let me tell you how. Out of the goodness of Facebook's heart, they want to hook up, they are partnering with the UK's Metropolitan Police, and they're going to give body cameras to them at no cost.
Love that. So pure of heart. Facebook is such a noble creature.
Right? They really are.
I feel like on the scale of like pieces of shit, Facebook is like maybe a step below
the Sacklers.
Like slightly less bad, but still really bad.
Yeah. Oh, I'm completely on board. So basically what they're going to do is they want to give body cameras to the UK Metropolitan Police, and they're not going to charge them.
Love that.
Now, if you ever think that you're getting a free lunch, check your fucking sources, because you are not. There is no such thing. In exchange for getting these cameras at no cost, the UK Metropolitan Police have to give access to Facebook for the data and footage that is basically being compiled.
Who out here is going, sure, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
No, I can't believe... I mean, that is just fucking insane. Now... Okay, this is already being rolled out in the UK. Ugh. But the thing that really makes me fucking uncomfortable is the last sentence in this paragraph. The company is reportedly in talks with US law enforcement about a similar partnership. Ugh. Big Brother is fucking coming, guys. So fucking protect yourself. Like, know why you are giving up data and what data you are giving up.
But in this case, like, this is out of our hands.
Yeah,
like,
and you're
this isn't law enforcement.
Which there's got to be there has to be some kind of privacy advocacy group or something that will fight the fuck out of this. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I guess with in the UK, they've got like whatever CCTV.
They've got a ton of CCTV things. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is probably not, well, and I don't want to, it doesn't seem like it's that much of a step, right?
But that data isn't just being given to Facebook.
And that's a very, very fucking good point. Cause I mean, you're literally giving, this, and well, it's not public data it's not public data until whatever, like lawsuits come up and stuff. But I mean, this shit is just like fucking A, man. You are giving this just insane amount of data to a private company that is just like, dude, they're known for fucking selling data. They're known for just like selling people out left and right.
So here's one tiny ray of light in this.
All right.
And I missed this earlier, but apparently, Facebook is saying that they're partnering with law enforcement in the US and the UK to get footage from their firearms training programs, which I'm like, that's bad. Don't give them that. Why would we give them that? But they're saying they can use that to detect real-world first-person footage of violent events. So ultimately, there's going to be some algorithm based on, here's what we've seen in firearms training, here's what it looks like, and if there's somebody live streaming a shooting somewhere, then Facebook can alert authorities, I guess. But really, like, Well, authorities get alerted some other way. Like,
I would think.
Do we need Facebook looking out for that?
Yeah.
Like, I can
glad.
see where they're trying to do a good thing with that.
Mm-hmm.
I still think they've got some ulterior motive for sure.
Well, and I'm glad that you actually mentioned the thing, because this is not, as of now, this is not, this is training footage.
Yeah.
I don't think that they've basically arrived at the point that it's like, oh,
all body cams
when they're
all the
on
time.
like, when they're out on patrol and
but
stuff
man,
like that.
This is just a stepping stone to get to that.
Thank you.
They'll totally get to that.
Exactly.
And
you
and
let them
for
get their
what?
foot in the door.
Like, what does Facebook need that
Yeah.
for?
Yeah.
What
exactly.
is the point? Like, I don't know. I hoard digital things.
Yeah.
Like, when I find something interesting or I find something that I think might get taken down,
Mm-hmm.
I like hoard it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what I'm doing with this stuff, but I have it.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
and plus, like, we've got all this storage, like how many, terabytes of external hard drives and stuff we have.
Yeah.
So, like, why not hoard things I find?
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I don't hoard creepy stuff. But,
Yeah.
but like, I get just wanting all the data you can get.
Uh-huh.
I get that, but like, as a company as huge as Facebook,
Yeah.
what are you doing with it?
Yeah, and that's the thing, is because they've had so many just like just so many really like sketchy fucking dealings in the past that it's like I don't trust them in the fucking least.
No.
And it's almost like they're using this to like scare their like users into being like, well, the world's falling apart. Facebook's here to help you, give us this data so that we can, like you said, alert, when mass shootings are occurring and stuff. But like, like you and I are saying, what else are they going to do with that
they're going to do
data?
something bad with it. Like, they've got, there's no way that's their only, and honestly, whatever their other intention is probably the main thing.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
This is a fucking, like, a red herring? Is that what it's...
Facebook is not out here just looking for ways to be good people.
No, not at all. It is a for-profit company.
Yeah.
Don't ever fucking forget that.
Also, I love the whole, like, trope that Zuckerberg is not a human. I love that.
Have you seen the YouTube videos that it's literally minutes of just him sipping water?
No,
because he drinks water so fucking weird. That dude
I too drink water frequently, as I am a human.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, I'm starting to perspire. Must replenish my fluid tank. But yeah, dude, it's incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think this is going to get a substantial pushback in the United States.
Yeah.
Now I don't know how hard Facebook had to fight in order to pair up with the UK Metropolitan Police.
Yeah.
But I have a sneaking suspicion that it's going to get a lot of pushback in the US,
I don't think people are going to like it.
Yeah.
And I keep meaning to quit Facebook again. But I'm just in a lot of weird groups and they're fun. Like, I'm in one that's like, just, like, there's not really even a theme. It's just kind of like a fun, happy group. And I'm in like some groups for podcasts and stuff and like just goofy stuff, like that huge cat group about like chunky cats. There's like 300,000 users in it, I think. But like, I'm like, oh look,
chunky cats,
a fat kitty.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But then I'm like, God, Facebook is just such a hellhole. Like, just people just post the dumbest shit.
Yeah, well, and just honestly, social media is just in a kind of shitty spot right now. I know. But the thing that it really is frustrating, because I mean, fuck, man, I remember when Facebook was fun.
Yeah.
And now I just feel like it's like you're just almost like trying to figure out like, oh, should I post this? Is there something? Could this turn around and bite me in the ass or whatever? And it's like, I feel like I shouldn't have to be thinking about that.
Yeah. Like, I have a friend that's a teacher, and she's super outspoken, just in general. But she shared a video from some families out of, I think it was Sandy Hook, and they put together like I don't really know the purpose. I think they called it a PSA, but it's like a 1 minute long video, sort of a commercial about like going back to school. And like, it starts out being like, oh, my mom got me this backpack, and my mom got me like new shoes, and then it gradually progresses as to showing these kids using everything against school shootings. Like it shows a kid like cowering in a closet holding a pair of scissors, like they're gonna be attacked, and like it's 1 minute long, and I sobbed, like it was so much, and I was like, you know, and my friend's thing that she shared was, you know, I'm a teacher, thoughts and prayers are not working, we've got to change gun laws. And I was like, man, this is so powerful, like I want to share it, but I know that's going to bring out the few people that are on my friends list who are pro-gun and for some reason would fight with that. And I'll be like, you guys get that these are kids crying because they're in like, I mean, a simulated school shooting. Like, come on, guys, have a heart. And I thought the whole thing through, and I was like, I'm not sharing it. I'm not having these fights. Well,
no, I mean, the troll community is fucking alive and kicking, man. Yeah. For sure. Even if they're not trolls, I don't know why, but everybody feels like they have to opine on everything on social media.
I heard a really good thing, an author's note at the end of a book that someone mentioned the other day, where the book talked pretty heavily about abortion. And the author's note at the end was like, you know, I think it's important to see all the sides to an argument or you know, how you feel about something. But also, more important than anything is to listen. Yeah. And I was like, that's so true. Like, people don't realize, like, you might not be right. You need to hear out the other side.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, how do you know, how can you come to the best conclusion unless you get all the fucking perspectives and all the thoughts and all that stuff? Yeah. So,
and it's like I said last time, the whole gun thing, like, something needs to change, but I don't fucking know what. Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah. Hopefully somebody knows and fixes it.
Yeah, right. So actually a pretty solid segue.
I was about to bring that one up. All right, cool. This fashion brand, this just lovely, wholesome fashion brand, debuts a school shooting collection of hoodies, complete with bullet holes.
Yes.
So, and there's pictures, and surprisingly, I guess they've not deleted them from their Instagram because they don't give a fuck, I guess. Obviously.
Jesus,
but dude. There's one that says Columbine, and there's one that says Sandy Hook, and then there's one that is from Stoneman Douglas. I think that was the floor. There were so many. I hate to get them confused, but there's been so many. I think that's Parkland, yeah. So their whole thing is, you know, we're putting out this like fashion collection, and they're hoodies, and they've got bullet holes in them. Or I mean, obviously, what look like bullet holes, but
well, that's what I was just looking at it. It looks like, are those actual holes in the? Because that Sandy Hook one actually looks like a fucking hole.
Oh no, they're real holes. They're definitely holes. Okay. I don't think they use bullets to make them. Yeah.
Okay, got you.
But no, they've got real holes in them.
Because at first I thought it was just like whatever,
like an image or something. No, it's actual holes.
Wow.
And I mean, I can't talk too much shit about holy clothes because I'm wearing jeans I bought destructed, so whatever. But, and okay.
I mean, I like distressed jeans just as much as the next guy.
Sure, but I'm not wearing a Columbine shirt with bullet holes in it.
Yeah.
And like, okay, I get risque things in an art sense. I think these could probably make for a powerful sort of art display. Yeah. To wear these to the grocery store, or to a concert, or God forbid to school. Yeah. First off, school would send you home.
100.
Any school would send you home.
Yeah, they would have to.
And but I just, who's buying these? Like who's?
And it's just a complete and utter lack of consideration for the fucking victims, dude. Because it's like, you know, I mean, that is just so disgusting. Like it is just foul. And I agree with you. I think that if you were to use this as an art piece and do whatever shadow boxes or fucking whatever, use it as some kind of, and then whatever, make some kind of art piece out of it, and then put it on an exhibit, give the funds for, you know, something along those lines. There is an appropriate way to do this shit.
And I'm sure these people are not giving any of the money to. I'm just guessing that. I'm trying to see how much they cost. I don't know if they're actually on their site yet. Or
gotcha. Yeah, if they're actually available.
God, they've got like $135 fucking t-shirts.
Yeah. I can almost guarantee you this shit's going to be like hundreds of dollars, right?
Oh yeah, because they've got some other hoodies that are like $250 and stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's just fucking incredible, though. Yeah. It really is.
Yeah, and I don't know, like there was a Jonestown shirt that I really wanted, and I was on the fence about it for a while, and I decided not to buy it. Yeah. Even though it was really, like, it was a fun shirt. Like, it was, like, bright yellow and had, like, bright graphics. It's like, welcome to beautiful Guyana. And I'm like, man, this is cool as hell. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, those people were in a cult, and they chose that, but, like, the kids that were there didn't. And, like, ultimately, that's in bad taste. Yeah. I shouldn't buy that and wear it. Like, I can't imagine being, like, I don't know, say if I happened to run into someone whose wife and child left them and went to Guyana, and they were like, how dare you wear a Jonestown shirt? Yeah. You know, like, I think about this stuff. Yeah. These people do not think about this stuff. No.
Well, and that's something that we were kind of talking about pre-show, is just how incredibly inconsiderate society as a whole has become. And just kind of, and I don't know if it's just like, that I feel more tuned into it these days or something, but it's like,
I think it's partly social media. We see so much more of people's lives than we did, 20 years ago, because people weren't posting every thought and every photo of everything they had going on. Yeah. And now we're seeing that, and we're like, what the fuck's wrong with people?
Yes. That thought definitely goes through my mind multiple times a day. So.
Oh man. Yeah. It's too much. And I like, there's so many people that I think they do this shit just to be edgy. Yeah. And like when Ted Bundy's stuff was really getting a lot of press recently, when he had, a couple Netflix things come out. Mm-hmm. There's at least a couple different women out there in the world that have tattoos of the bite marks that Ted Bundy left on Lisa Levy. And they got that tattooed on them.
That's and just that so is fucking,
in such poor taste.
Yeah, that is so bizarre too.
Like, that's so awful. Like, how dare you?
Yeah, God, that's fucking outrageous.
Also, like, what do you tell anybody that like ever sees your like hip in a swimsuit or something? Like, wait, you like at the beach with your mom, and she's like, "What's that?" And you're like, "Oh, have you heard of Ted Bundy?" Like, no. What are you doing?
I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that conversation.
Like, my mom already doesn't love tattoos, but like, my mom would kick my ass if I got that tattoo, and she should.
Yeah, rightfully so. Oh my God. All right. Well, so where do we want to go from here?
I don't know. What's this? Let's talk about Amazon and its hustle.
Let's do it.
So I am an asshole in my whole life, where I always try to play devil's advocate, and like I can't stop myself. Like, I'm always like, okay, but
I feel like that's honestly, it's good to be able to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, well, it kind of is, but then even sometimes, like, while I'm doing it, I'm like, why are you arguing this side? You don't think this.
Yeah.
It's cost me some, not friendships, but it's cost me some acquaintances, at least, for sure.
Yeah.
But, so, Amazon. Amazon has started making some changes to their search results to prioritize profitability over relevance. So basically, if you search for ink pens, it's going to bring you up stuff that Amazon makes more of a profit on, instead of the best ink pens out there, the highest rated ink pens, the, best price or whatever. Yeah. And honestly, I am playing devil's advocate here. I appreciate that hustle. Like, Amazon's a company, and do they have any sort of like moral obligation to us to be honest in search results? Not really.
No, I can guarantee you they don't.
So back to that scale of terrible people, Amazon's just another step below Facebook.
No shit.
So I know they're awful, but like, honestly, if I was Amazon, I'd be like, hell yeah, put my brand of ink pens at the top of the search results.
Well, and I think that's kind of where, and we kind of talked about it a little bit when we were picking out articles for this episode, but kind of the thing, the thing that people, I think, are being rubbed the wrong way, and I would definitely put myself in under this category, is it's almost like they've got too much control and too much access to data kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because they can basically which we kind of spoke about a little bit, and I think we actually covered something previously on Tether Radio for talking about Amazon and how they're kind of running into antitrust issues because basically they have sales data that they can pull,
yeah,
and they can see what like products are trending and stuff. What I used as an example, I think with Allie earlier was like, for instance, pop sockets come up.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, pop sockets are really popular, and there is specifically the pop socket brand. Mm-hmm. And then I can almost fucking guarantee you, I have not looked into this, but I bet there is an Amazon, like Amazon Basics, like fucking pop socket or something like that. Now, I agree with this is me basically playing devil's advocate with my fucking self.
Yep.
I agree. Mm-hmm. The hustle, my hat goes off, man. Mm-hmm. Now, the thing that sucks is that it is in my opinion, it is a complete and utter unfair marketplace kind of thing. Yeah. Because when when the person that is the platform for selling this stuff has that kind of control over the marketplace.
Yeah.
It's kind of, in my opinion, it's stepping a little bit further away from true like capitalism kind of thing, you know?
But I guess, I mean, that sort of brings up like SEO and like Google results and stuff. Like Google's got those ads at the top and you barely notice their ads.
Yeah.
And honestly, half the time they are what you're looking for. Like if you're searching for like a certain brand, half the time the ad that comes up is the brand you're wanting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, and then you've got, SEO, which are people out here hustling to make theirs the top Google results. Yeah. So, like, ultimately, you can't trust anything.
Yeah, well, and that's the fucking worst part. And I swear we don't have tinfoil hats on, by the way.
Speak for yourself, man.
Yeah. Oh, God, she just pulled one out of her bag. But no, and Joseph and I actually got into this a little bit. That, people open up people open up an internet browser, okay? You're automatically, doesn't matter which one you fucking choose, you're getting their curated internet.
Yeah.
Because you're using them to search for this shit.
Yeah.
And they're giving you the results that they want to fucking serve up.
Yeah.
So it really is, it's weird because I don't really know how you would combat that, other than, well, I just don't know. I mean, I guess we'll just wait until our supremely flawed legal system, whatever, has to decide whether or not Amazon is a fucking monopoly. So, but yeah, it's weird because I completely agree with you. You know what? If I was running a company, I'm out to get for me, man.
Yeah.
And
like,
that's what they're doing.
Say if I was running like Old Navy's website and someone searched tank tops, I am going to put the most expensive or at least most profitable tank top at the top of those results.
Yeah.
Not the bestseller.
Yeah.
Not the most like searched for.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that fancy ass tank top up there at the top.
Yeah. I'm going to put that affliction like fucking sequined out.
Oh God.
Oh my God. Yeah, but I think honestly, I think Facebook, I think Apple, I think Amazon, all of these companies, I believe are going to find themselves in hot water.
Yeah.
In the next like 5-10 years kind of thing.
Yeah.
Probably closer to 5.
I think there's going to be a lot more regulations on just the internet in general.
Yeah.
Like, as people are realizing how crazy this stuff is.
Yeah, yeah. And how often it happens.
Yeah.
So, So it'll be interesting, though, to see how it ends up being dealt with and all that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go ahead and cruise to... Let's talk about this Twitch stuff, the crackdown on sexual content.
Okay.
So I pulled this one, and it was I didn't think it was as deep of a rabbit hole as it ended up being. So bear with me. I pulled it from Kotaku, who actually does really, in my opinion, very, very good coverage of the gaming world. And
man, they're another one of those Gawker sites.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love the Gawker family.
Yeah, yeah. They do some pretty solid like investigative work kind of thing.
Yeah.
So basically, what happened is earlier in the week, Twitch kind of started cracking down on what they would define as sexual content or sexually suggestive content kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, one of the examples that they used for this was a streamer and I don't know how to exactly pronounce this. It's QUQCO, so Kuko or something like that. Maybe
that sounds good. We'll go with that.
We'll go with that. So she's a streamer who decided to wear a cosplay outfit of Chun-Li. Now, Chun-Li is for the uninitiated, Chun-Li is from the original Street Fighter, and I'm pretty sure she's still in the Street Fighter series. But it's like a woman of Asian descent, and she has like kind of this little, I'm trying to think of how to even describe what it is, but it's almost like a dress, a short dress that has a pretty high cut up the hip.
Yeah.
And so yes, I could see to a degree what they're talking about. Now, this image that they're actually referencing in the article, it literally, she would be showing as much leg, in my opinion, as if she was wearing short shorts.
Sure.
Kind of
yeah.
thing. Like,
yeah.
it's not, her tits aren't out everywhere. Yeah. Like, the actual cut on her outfit is super fucking high.
Yeah, like it is like almost turtleneck level on the neck, so there's no cleavage.
Yeah.
The sleeves there are sleeves. Like there are like short
It's not
sleeves.
shoulder, it's not showing
and
shoulder.
And it's actually a little like loose fitting. It's not even like super, I don't know, like
which she actually said, I specifically bought a size up from what actually like fit me properly to avoid this shit.
Sure.
And
like I see women every day wearing shorts that are fine.
Yeah.
That would show this much leg.
Yeah. So the weird thing is she ended up getting contacted by Twitch and ended up being I was trying to see how I can't remember how long. I don't think it was that long of a whatever probationary period. Or
I think she got there were a handful of different mentions, but I think she got like 90 days probation.
No, so that was the chick.
Oh, that was the other girl. Sorry, that was the gym girl.
Yeah,
yep,
exactly.
Yep.
But anyway, the point is they called her out on being sexually suggestive, and which, I mean, some of these people, this is their fucking like revenue or their income.
Yeah.
So being launched off or kicked off of a platform, even for like whatever, a couple weeks, couple months, they're gonna take a hit. That's
losing you money.
Yeah. And you're gonna lose subscribers and stuff. And so it was really weird because you've got people like her she's trying to be cognizant of the, they referred to them as titty streamers.
Oh,
and I thought it was hilarious personally. but you know exactly who the people that we're talking about,
Sure.
Because it's these women that like whatever, yes, flaunt your shit if you want to. That's
Dude,
cool.
I appreciate that hustle.
Yeah, well, no, and I agree with you entirely.
Yeah,
but if it obviously violates the terms of service and all that shit, then Now, having said that,
but there's so many of those on Twitch. Like, I mean, is there another platform like Twitch where you could get away with more?
That's a good question. I would actually be interested to compare. I think it's called Mixer.
Okay.
That Microsoft launched as a Twitch competitor.
Okay.
And I'd actually be interested to see like a comparison of their, you know, terms of services and stuff.
Yeah.
Because the problem that they're running into with the Twitch stuff is the terms of service in regards to this stuff is it's really vague.
Yeah.
So it's like it can be interpreted however they fucking want to.
Yep.
You know, case in point, they fucking had the audacity to, like, pull this guy's Twitch account that he's a like SpongeBob player or something. I know, right? Like Race for Bikini Bottom or something. I can't remember the exact name of the game.
Yeah.
But SpongeBob's like his main shtick.
Yeah.
So he made an emote of like SpongeBob when his like pants tear, and I think I actually did see that episode of SpongeBob that like literally in the episode he accidentally tears his pants,
right,
and people laugh at it.
Sure.
So he proceeds to basically tear his pants all the time to make people laugh.
Yeah.
It's a fucking like animated sponge.
Yeah.
Like, how is that sexually suggestive? Like, honestly, if you interpret that as sexually suggestive, what kind of fetish shit are you into?
Right. I mean, these people that are over-sexualizing everything, I'm like, you need to settle down.
Yes. No kidding.
It's just like the whole, like, the schools with their crazy rules. Like, I know they were so strict. We could not wear tank tops. Mm-hmm. Like, no, you couldn't show your shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Like,
yeah.
They're shoulders.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Are shoulders sexual? Like, I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know. Have you seen Finn? How he works his shoulders? My God.
Kid's got some good dance moves.
That kid will have women eating out of his hands by age 5 now.
Yeah, like, I mean, you know, who's to say, like, we can show our knees, but, like, God forbid we show a shoulder.
Well, it's like, are the moderators Amish? Like, what the fuck, man? Like, come on. But yeah, so it's just it's super fucking bizarre. Yeah. How it's almost like they're spinning this wheel and just picking random people to make an example of.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if it's like a whatever, they're just trying to like scare the other people into line or something like that.
Like make an example of someone.
Yeah. I don't really know. I don't really know what the fuck they're doing. Yeah. And I don't know if they know what the fuck they're doing, to be honest with you.
It does sound like they're just randomly picking on people.
Yeah. But yeah, so another example was the girl that you were talking about, Allie, and I think her name is like Faria.
Yeah, they mentioned her a lot.
Yeah. So she is like a whatever IRL streamer. Mm-hmm. And she went to the gym and was streaming from the gym, and she had like a sports bra on, baggy like athletic shorts, and what would you refer to that? It's almost like
that's that very top picture, right?
Yeah. What is that thing that she's wearing? It's like a midriff, God. Like
it's like a short sleeve short cardigan.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But anyway, it's not like she's well, I don't consider her to be showing a lot of cleavage.
Hey, her shoulders are covered, so as far as I'm concerned, she's good.
Exactly. But the thing is that would be a common outfit seen at a fucking gym. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And she got her account pulled for 90 days.
God. And dude, if I was built like her, I would wear that to the gym.
Yeah, well, exactly.
It's not like immodest. You're showing off your stomach. I would too if I worked that hard on my damn stomach.
Exactly. And it's just and something that they kind of started talking about toward the end of this article is the women actually feel preyed upon a little bit more than the men. Yeah, kind of thing.
They
which
said,
I could see that
they'll show men at the gym not even wearing a shirt at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it's just, it's dumb.
Yeah. Which, you know, honestly, I'd be interested to see if there's any, there have to be some, but I'd be interested to see how many, like, whatever man titty streamers kind of thing there are that it's like, oh, well, you know, I play Overwatch and I bounce my pecs to the beat of the music. You know? It's like, because there's got to be some of those guys out there, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
But
I bet there's a ton. I would bet there are a ton of Twitch streamer guys that don't wear shirts.
Yeah,
like, if they're the least bit like even just skinny.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, just kind of it'll be interesting. I think that Twitch is on the precipice of fucking redoing their definition of sexually suggestive. So, and if they're not, man, I feel like they're gonna get some fucking backlash because it's getting kind of silly at this point. So, but yeah, so there's definitely, I mean, there definitely are. I mean, this one chick or whatever.
Wait, you're SpongeBob, dude. It says he was baffled when Twitch first placed an RIP tombstone atop his SpongeBob with ripped pants emote. That's how they tell you they're checking new content.
What?
It really says that.
That is fucking amazing.
What a good way to be like, canceled.
Yeah, canceled. Oh my god, man. Totally insane. But yeah, so the chick that Faria or what is
that
Faria?
Sounds right. That sounds right, yeah.
So she's kind of taking it in stride, which is kind of, honestly, I feel like she's kind of being the bigger person in this situation. She said, I've ordered several turtlenecks, ski masks, and bodysuits. I've pulled off some tech tricks, and for the rest of my 90-day probation, I will cover myself up a ridiculous amount. Partially in protest, but mostly in good humor. So yeah, it's just kind of interesting how that shit is being defined. And I think that this kind of comes full circle back to a common thing that we talk about on here about the fine line between actually policing material that's going on these platforms and censorship.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of these things that I think that I think they're really going to have to watch out, because otherwise they're going to get a supreme backlash, or somebody's going to launch another streaming platform, and there's going to be a mass exodus from Twitch to something else.
I mean, hell, launch a platform out there somewhere that, nope, that's not going to work. As soon as I say it, I'm like, launch one that's like sex work positive. And I'm like, no, our laws are not sex work positive.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. Whoops.
Whoops.
I don't know, host it in Nicaragua or something. That'll work.
There you go. All right, so looking at the time, I think we got time for one more. Okay. I saw that you pulled it up, and I was like, fuck yes.
Yeah, because it kind of goes hand in hand a little bit, because we're talking about women's bodies and stuff. Women are flocking to plastic surgeons to fix resting bitch face. Okay, so I see clickbait. I'm extremely online. I see clickbait all the time, and I'm like, that's clickbait. Yeah. I'm not clicking this garbage. Yeah. And this one kept coming up, and I was finally like, I gotta do it. Gotta do it for the pod. Like how people do it for the gram. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'll read it. It's actually not really clickbait. They finessed this title just a little bit, but it's pretty spot on. So this is on New York Post, and also, like, make sure you're up to date on your tetanus shot before you go to the New York Post website, because it's garbage.
It is almost unusable.
Oh, it's so bad. Like, we were joking about this article basically being like, doctors hate her for this one trick, and, like, they legit have those ads on the site. Anyway, so, this article leads with saying this lady didn't realize how bitchy she looked until her friends uploaded some pictures from a party, and she was like, oh god, I look mad. Like, when I'm just, like, standing around, I look like a sourpuss, in her words. So, she's a medical equipment sales associate, so she depends on looking approachable, and she went to a plastic surgeon, and she was like, hey, I want to look less grumpy.
I want to look like less of a bitch. It's like, I wonder how many people go to plastic surgeons with that complaint.
Well, I think the way the couple of plastic surgeons they talked to worded it, where women come to them and they say it usually nicer than that. Yeah. And the plastic surgeon will say something like, oh, get rid of your resting bitch face. And the woman will be like, yeah, that. Yes. So, like, yeah, this isn't even really clickbait. That's really what women are looking to do. And, dude, a lot of women are saying, this specific woman said she didn't want a Joker smile, but she wanted a pleasant resting look.
A pleasant resting look. He's like, well, the first treatment that I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the huge ass stick up your ass. This should help with some of that.
Oh, that's perfect. Also, have you reached like a point of inner zen where you're not a bitch?
Yeah, right. I mean, sometimes you can't outrun your genes.
I think I have the opposite of resting bitch face. Like, I think I, for some reason, come across as too approachable.
Yeah.
Because random weirdos talk to me everywhere I go. Like, people will ask me in, like, a Target. They'll be like, do you think this shirt goes with these pants? I'm like, I don't work here. And they're like, no, I know. I wondered. And I'm like,
you look nice.
Dude, what? Like, I wear a t-shirt and jeans all the time. Like, I'm not dressed fancy.
Oh, that's awesome. So, are you going to hit up the plastic surgeon to get more of a...
Can you give me resting bitch face?
Can you make me less approachable looking? Oh my god.
It's actually pretty entertaining to me because I don't really take shit from people. So when, like, random strangers, especially at, like, the bar, if I, like, go by myself, I'm usually hanging out with regulars and stuff, but, like, if I'm there and there's not a lot of regulars and some dude tries to talk to me, I'm just like, oh no. Like, you want to be friendly, that's fine. But like, one guy was just making small talk with me and then asked if he could take me home. And I had like brought up having did I ever tell you that one?
No.
Oh, dude. He wasn't even flirting. It was like the smallest of small talk for like 5 minutes, and he goes to leave. And I had brought up my husband a couple times. Yeah. Like, in friendly ways. Yeah. And he's like, how do you word it? It was so blatant. Like, it was like, he said, have you ever been with another man outside of your marriage? And I was like, oh, no, man, I'm not like that. That's not me.
He stands up and he's like, so go ahead and toss that back if you're not feeling it, but
yeah,
I want to get on that.
No, for real. It was so straightforward.
Yeah.
And it was at our usual bar, and like, when he left, there were a bunch of regulars around, and they just didn't hear that part. Yeah. And when he left, I was like, you guys saw that guy, right? And they're like, yeah. I was like, you guys, listen to what he said.
Circle round.
Like, I was like, y'all, listen to this. And they, like, that's been 6 or 8 months ago. And like, one of the regulars brought it up the other day. I was like, remember that guy I tried to take you home that time? That was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was so, and then he just like backpedaled. He's like, oh, well, it's been nice talking to you. You have really pretty eyes. Bye.
Very nice. Make it as awkward as possible.
Oh my god. But Jesus. Anyway, the resting bitch face thing.
That's hilarious though.
My best friend suffers from that. And but she embraces it. Like, she likes it. And I think it's great. It suits her.
That's amazing. My god. That is so. Every specialist has a different technique, but Schaefer also likes to add Botox to the jowl area called the DAO muscle. Huh. Wonder what the fuck that is.
Oh, that there was one part where they said they fix your ventriloquist lines, not ventriloquist. What was the word?
The worse the bitch face, the more effective the Botox. If you always look dumpy or unfriendly, people are going to react to you differently.
Dude, imagine walking in and going in for like lip fillers or something, and they're like, "Oh, you're here to fix your bitch face."
Yeah, right.
Like, no, I wanted to puff up my lips a little. Yeah. Shit.
Damn it. Do I have a bitch face? Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Oh, marionette lines. That's what they call it. Okay. From the lips corners to the jaw line. So that's totally the, like, old-timey ventriloquist dolls. Yeah. Like, that creeps me out. I didn't even know there was a term for having lines right there.
God, that is freaky, dude. People, fucking plastic surgery for just, like, not... I don't know. I mean, I'm glad it exists for like the kids with like cleft lips and stuff that. Yeah. But like, damn, if we hadn't taken it a little far these days.
Dude, there's so many people getting like lip fillers and cheek fillers and stuff.
Oh yeah.
There's a place that does that and other like dermatology stuff, which seems kind of like a weird combination. But it's right behind a Starbucks here in town. And whenever I'm like in line at that Starbucks, I look over. They had a sign up one time that was like, this Thursday, bingo and $10 Botox. And I was like, ooh, I don't want $10 Botox.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like a tattoo. Like, you get what you pay for.
Oh my god.
I would like to pay you more than $10 for Botox, please.
Yeah. I feel like you'd come out looking like whatever the Mob Wives woman. Have you ever seen that shit? Jeez. Which I think she died.
Also, like, how casual are you doing this? Like, hey, let's play bingo. If you win this round, you get some cheek fillers.
Yeah, cool. You go play bingo and come back looking like the fucking Joker. They're like, we're actually going to have someone doing Botox at bingo.
That was the impression the sign
Oh,
gave.
no shit.
Yeah, like I really think it was.
Oh my God.
Like I think it was on the spot. Like yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Whew.
I think I'd avoid that
It's
at all
not good.
costs. But well, anyway, we're gonna have to wrap because I'm looking at the time and it is just about that time.
Yep.
All right. Well, cool. So this has been episode 67 of the Tether Radio podcast. Allie, thank you again, as always.
Love it.
And like I said, guys, let us know what you think. Let us, give us some criticism out there. We're down for it. Just make it constructive, please. If you want to do that, man, hit us up at tetherradio@gmail.com. That's tetherradio@gmail.com. You want to hit us up on Twitter? We are at tether_radio. Same thing on Instagram at tether_radio. We're on Zuckerberg's face bag, and we are under Tether Radio, all one word. Man, this was a good one.
Very good.
I
Very
enjoyed
good.
this
Lots of fun.
thoroughly. And we hope you guys enjoyed it also. Hit us up, leave us a review. Be sure to check out the frags on Mondays, the full episodes on Wednesdays. And we appreciate you lending us your ear. And until next week, have a good one, guys.